What's going on, YouTube? JT's Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Batman issue number 120. This one's written by Joshua Williamson, and there's also a backup story focusing on Maps Mizoguchi and her adventures with Batman. So this issue picks up right after the events of the previous one, where Batman went toe-to-toe with Abyss. Abyss did something to him which made him temporarily blind, or blind for a long period of time. Well, it's only going to be temporary because they're not going to keep Batman blind forever. That would basically make him Daredevil. This is something that's kind of been done before. I remember Batman the Animated Series did an episode where Penguin made Batman blind, and Batman had to use his technology to kind of get his eyesight back to kind of work temporarily, like some sort of VR headset that he had to wear, and then obviously eventually regained his sight, but it was kind of something he had to use like his other senses. Here, Batman is definitely blind, but like you don't really feel like it's made as big of a difference as you'd expect. Yeah, Batman is a trained in pretty much every martial arts form. I know he's done training where he's had to rely on his other senses, but you really don't feel as much like he's been like severely like handicapped in a way, like in terms of like going forward. Like he's still able to kind of do things, like, and it's not even like his eyes are damaged. It's something kind of in his brain, like something Abyss did that's just kind of like, maybe it's like some sort of nanotech or something else that's kind of making him blind. We don't exactly know, but basically he's also working with a detective who helped him out beforehand. The artwork, by the way, is really, really good looking. Also, Lex Luthor is trying to fund Batman Incorporated. He's even got his own little Batman suit, which reminds me of like back in Superman Rebirth when Lex Luthor was considered one of the good guys and he was fighting alongside Superman in his own Superman armor. Now he's doing the same thing, but with Batman. He understands that they need a Batman, and he just wishes kind of Bruce Wayne was a bit on his side. So it is rather interesting. Batman decides to break into the prison to figure out what's going on with Batman Incorporated, try to rescue them, but then they don't really want to be rescued, and it turns out for whatever reason they are secretly working for Abyss, and then Lex Luthor shows up, and the two of them are going to eventually have to kind of team up to face Batman Incorporated, with Abyss leading the new group. I thought this was pretty good overall. The artwork itself looks really, really great. I think every panel pops. Just pretty much everything in the issue was kind of like, in terms of the artwork, was really looking good. Williamson's writing an interesting story so far. I like how it's going to have to be a bit of a Lex Luthor and Batman team up, which will be kind of interesting. It is kind of interesting seeing Lex in a suit of armor with the bat symbol on it, though. Like, it just, there's something about that I never really would have expected to see. Superman, yeah, but not necessarily Batman. So I am intrigued to see where this thing goes from here, and like who Abyss is and what their connection is to Batman and why they're doing what they're doing. I'm sure Williamson will craft something interesting, but the fact that Shadow War is going to be coming up very soon makes me wonder how long-term Abyss is going to be in this story. So there's that one. Then we have the backup with Maps Mizoguchi. Basically, we find out what those little creatures are. There's something in Japanese folklore. She's kind of like figuring things out. Like I said, Maps is a really fun character, and I think she could be utilized a lot more in other Batman books. It's kind of a shame that she's only really been put to like Gotham Academy. Now, like, she's like, I don't know if she's like going to be eyed as like a future Robin at some point. Like, she's working well within like this storyline here, but she needs a lot more training if she was going to step up to be kind of the next Robin. Like, I wouldn't mind it at some point if she did become Robin. Like, maybe Damian has to train her like as his like replacement, considering that they have a bit of a history together. I think that could be kind of fun. Or maybe she could be something else that kind of works alongside the Batman family, perhaps just like a detective, like in the streets a little bit, kind of like working in the scene a little bit. I actually like that about her character. Like, she's definitely got intelligence. She's got a nice personality to her. She's kind of fun. So you got that going on with you. So yeah, like I said, they kind of team up, and she's looking for her friend, and I guess they find a dead body, but they also find that her friend may be alive, and that's kind of where it ends. The first part of the backup, like in the previous issue, I thought was a little bit better, but it felt like they had a lot more time with that portion. This one was just like, I really want to kind of read what happens next, but we're going to have to wait a month for the next issue of Batman here. Don't have that problem with Detective Comics because we still got like 12 straight weeks of that. I don't know how many weeks we are into that storyline, but it's moving along pretty well, so I got to read that issue after this one. But anyways, Batman 120, still recommending it. I think Williamson is pretty much proving himself as like the current like top ongoing DC writer right now in terms of being on like multiple books. Like, not my all-time favorite writer at DC, obviously, but like in terms of like having multiple books at once, I feel like Williamson just seems to be the one who's, for the most part, working out pretty well. Is obviously writing Robin really well. Deathstroke has some interesting stuff going on. Batman is more interesting than it has been in a while. I think he's also writing Justice League Incarnate and some other stuff. That stuff, not quite my favorite, but he's also going to be doing the whole Death of the Justice League thing. He kind of is like almost seeming like being positioned as like the next, the kind of like the leader in terms of the writers at DC. Like, we're kind of in the Joshua Williamson area, kind of like how Scott Snyder was leading things for a while up through like Death Metal. Now it feels like Williamson is kind of taking charge of various things. Like, he's got the Wilson family, like the Batman stuff, and then Robin obviously is still his best book. But it is kind of interesting to see what Williamson's doing right now. But anyways, what did you think of the issue? Tell me your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. Be sure to come back later on today. I'll be talking about Detective Comics and I think Arkham City Order of the World, which I haven't read yet. So look forward to that. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.